So I'm back, and this is now what I'm doing to face my fears on being on camera. But I have this deeper calling that I want to share so many things that I learned being just me in life, and I thought other people are probably also gone through a rough time in their life and might benefit from what I've been through. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys. I'm Shanti. I'm a freelancer, solopreneur, whatever you want to call it. I've also been hopping around doing some digital nomading, and I've also overcome quite a lot of mental unwellness. So that's kind of where I am. I do a lot of coaching. I'm a yoga teacher, and I also do meditations for people, and I guide them through their own personalized meditation. So that's what I do to keep myself afloat, pay rent like everyone else. So I was thinking that last video we were speaking, or there was an initial video where I was speaking about my planner for the day. And generally through the week, what I also do is I take a higher level perspective and schedule in complete break days for myself. So days where there's no pressure to do anything, there are no to-dos. And if I want to sit and just binge a TV show, or I want to get up super late in the morning, or I want to whatever, that's what I do. Otherwise, what happens is that we keep on spinning around in this kind of guilt and shame cycle, which is so unhealthy. And I believe that a lot of us are there. And the guilt shame cycle is like we feel guilty because we didn't do something that we set out to do, and then we're shaming ourselves like, oh, why didn't you do that? And you're not being great and all of this stuff. And that drains our energy. And when I work with clients, it's one of the first things that I notice is that they do have a guilt shame cycle running in the background. And that's kind of why they come to me, right? Like a lot of clients come to me because they don't feel fulfilled. They are feeling lost, or they have these great plans that they want to work towards, but they don't know how, or they have been working towards them, but they're not getting anywhere. Or sometimes it's just a feeling of more. It's just that uncomfortable feeling that I'm not really where I'm supposed to be, or like a dissatisfaction, like, is this it? Is this life? Is that it? And when you're feeling like that, that's usually where you can pinpoint the reason down to 3 things. I've really discovered that our unhappiness or dissatisfaction or disappointment comes from 3 different things. There's no more really. It can all be boiled down to that. Number 1, you say you're going to do something and you don't actually do it, or you keep on starting to do something and you don't complete it, and then you jump on a new project and you get super excited, you start doing that, but you don't complete that either, and then you go, oh, that wasn't a great idea, and then you start a different project, but you don't complete that either, right? So you have this driven by motivation and moments and bursts of energy and action, but it doesn't go anywhere. So you never really arrive anywhere. You're making some type of progress and then stepping backwards. That's one of them. Number 2 is that, especially with social media, we keep on seeing things that we want for ourselves. So our desires are on high alert. We want a private jet. We want to be able to shop. We want to take luxurious holidays, go and eat at fancy restaurants, or maybe we want that house and our family and the dog and be a soccer mom or whatever. Either way, all what we're spending most of our energy on is something over there. So we're living somewhere in the future, or looking at what other people are doing, or looking at external media, which are pumping us with pictures and images and videos and all of that. But in reality, where we are right now, we're actually not making or taking any actions which is moving us in that direction. And most importantly, we haven't even investigated why we want those things. So we're so obsessed with our desires and our wants that we're never really here. We're always over there. And we tend to be quite unhappy in that state of being. Now, thirdly, which I see a lot of as well, and just a little thing that usually we are a combination of all these 3, but when I meet with a client in the very, very beginning, we can probably pinpoint the first dominant reason pretty soon. Lastly then is that something has happened to us. So I don't know, maybe went through a divorce, which is like awful, or someone close to us passed away and it's really hard to process, or we were bullied in school, or we grew up in a family that wasn't really functioning and there was narcissism or whatever it might have been. So what happens is that these narratives, these stories from our past is very much still playing very loudly in our current world. And it has shifted us actually into a poor me kind of life, victimhood life. And I was so shocked when I realized myself that I was spinning in victimhood as my general state of being, because I always saw myself as a person who took charge and did all these things. And also I did. And a lot of my friends were like, oh my God, you're amazing. You move countries, you have a senior job. And I was getting promoted all the time. And I was not afraid of going in and asking for a salary raise and stuff like that. But actually all the time I was spinning in a victimhood. And that means that my energies were also drained and I was also tired. And sooner or later, all of those promotions, all of those sales targets that I hit, they just wasn't enough. I was never feeling satisfied and fulfilled and like, this is great and I'm happy, because I was always seeking something from the external world. So either we are there trying to do something, we don't do it, or we keep on stopping doing what we're doing. And that's kind of dragging us down in our self-esteem, our confidence, and our belief in ourselves. And we don't trust ourselves anymore. So a lot of us do that, right? And I'm a procrastinator too. I'm doing this video to overcome my fear that of being in front of a camera, and I've been procrastinating so much anyway. And number 2, we're looking ahead for desires and wants, and we're always over there and never really here. Or 3, we are spinning our wheels in an old story and we end up in victimhood, and that's just not good either. So wherever you are, this is usually in one of these pockets where you are majority of the time, usually unconsciously. And I'm going to say that my tool to discover all of this was in deep contemplation, in meditation. So if you're a meditator, I'm going to say, well done. It's not easy. If you never meditated, I would say start. Better start now than in 20 years or in 1 year, because then you are already ahead. So for me, it's definitely meditation, in order to sit with yourself and start listening to the voice, the narrative inside your mind that keeps on going that you're not even aware of. Awesome. Thank you guys.